we have to come in here tonight and talk about The Rock's latest appearance on Smackdown. And pro wrestling right now is on fire. And you know what else is on fire? This show, this YouTube channel. 130,000 views on the last show.
It's wild. It's wild to have that big of a jump.
For us, it's wild, based on the views we were getting. Now, I'm not somebody that's obsessed with views on this YouTube channel. We're also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere really your podcasts are available. But we've just recently been kind of pumping up the YouTube channel, so it's good to see views like that when we put out a segment from the last episode in which we broke down The Rock's appearance on the Pat McAfee show back in September. And The Rock seems to be back in a somewhat full-time in-ring promo role, right? He's not like in-ring wrestling all the time. But he is going to be involved in WrestleMania, and we are going to break down The Rock's latest appearance on SmackDown, in which Roman Reigns interrupted him in what I think is one of the most iconic moments I have ever seen in the WWE of all time. That's right. That's my opinion, but that's how I feel. But to all our new subscribers, I just want to say thank you. And for anybody who has not subscribed yet, make sure you smash that subscribe button right now, because I do get a sense that most of the people that just hit subscribe on this YouTube channel are wrestling fans. And so I kind of want to open the show up with a disclaimer for those people, and that is, this isn't strictly just a wrestling show. But I think I'm a lifelong wrestling fan. Paul, you're a lifelong wrestling fan. We do a lot of wrestling talk. It's just right now, it's the top story because wrestling is on fire. The WWE specifically is on fire. And I think we'd be doing this show a disservice, and even a lot of our fans, whether you're subscribed or not, a disservice if we didn't give you the reaction to the top story. And right now, the top story in sports and entertainment, in wrestling, is The Rock, the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins is kind of involved. We're going to get into that because now it does look like we're going to have that tag team match on night one of the two-night WrestleMania extravaganza in Philadelphia this year, the 40th anniversary of the Showcase of the Immortals. But to the wrestling fans that just subscribe to the show, I think I should open with a disclaimer that not only are we not strictly a wrestling show, we do some wrestling stuff, but we talk about all other sports and we break that down. But the other disclaimer is when it does come to wrestling, I handle the wrestling talk like I handle the sports talk, which is that I give you my raw, honest reaction sprinkled in with a lot of common sense. And I know that probably is refreshing to some people because most shows or podcasts or YouTube videos out there, especially in wrestling, are filled with, in my opinion, a bunch of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And so when I break this stuff down, I just want people to know I don't give a shit what your favorite wrestling bloggers are saying. I don't give a shit what your favorite wrestling personalities are saying about what's going on. What we do right here is we worry about ourselves. I am not in any of the wrestling media cliques. I'm not in any media cliques. Everything that I've done, everything that you've seen that I've done in the sports media in the last 15 plus years, I've done radio, TV, I've been a part of major networks, but they've not promoted me. I'm not the guy that gets promoted. I'm not the guy that gets the benefit from that promotion. Everything that I've done on my own. I've made all my own breaks. And it's because I'm not part of those cliques. But because I'm not part of those cliques, you're not going to get the same old takes that I think you usually get in the wrestling world with your favorite wrestling personalities or your favorite wrestling bloggers or reporters or wrestling media. Like that's we don't give a shit what they say. So what you're hearing on this show, what you're seeing on this show is we break down The Rock's latest appearance. What we broke down on the last show that got us 130,000 plus views. I think there was some people that they were refreshed to see and hear a new voice in the wrestling world. And some people in the comments thinking I'm not right for some of the breakdown that I had of that Rock appearance on the Pat McAfee show. Last show, but I hate to break it to you, I was right. I nailed it. The Rock laid out exactly what they were going to do. He's involved. And right now, I know it looks like he's in the bloodline. But it's pretty clear at some point, Paul, we are going to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Are we not?
They're screaming it feels like to me.
Right.
Absolutely screaming.
We're going to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns. It's just a matter of when, and it's just a matter of how. And when we broke down that Rock video on the Pat McAfee show, on the last clip that you see on this YouTube channel, I made it pretty clear that The Rock went on ESPN and he told you that he was not just going to come back for that match. He was coming back for more. There needed to be something special, something different. You're seeing it play out right now. And what I think is one of the most iconic moments I have ever seen in the history of pro wrestling was last night on Smackdown when The Rock, after a 30-minute Bloodline segment, which was unbelievable, I was on the edge of my seat for the whole thing, The Rock goes to finish it off with the signature, "If you smell," and Roman Reigns put his hand on The Rock's forearm and stopped him and interrupted him and said, "You need to acknowledge me right now." And The Rock did acknowledge him. But this whole moment of Roman Reigns interrupting The Rock, to me, is on the type of iconic level of Shawn Michaels at the barbershop, super kicking Marty Jannetty. Like just that moment that you'll always remember. CM Punk, pipe bomb. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant in Piper's Pit. Like those iconic wrestling moments. Stone Cold at the King of the Ring. Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass." This was one of those moments, if not better than those. In my opinion, I was shocked. I was on the edge of my seat, and
perfect storytelling and perfect foreshadowing too. It really was. It was.
Well, you see now that there is obviously some type of there's something there with Roman Reigns and The Rock that they're gonna get to. Now, The Rock ended up saying, "I acknowledge you as my tribal chief," but I still think that we're not getting the whole thing. Like, I think that probably means The Rock at some point is going to go, "Well, yeah, you're my tribal chief, but I'm the head chief, and I selected you as my tribal chief." Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's where we're going. Yeah, you're my tribal chief. I acknowledge you as that, but you work for me. Like, I think we're going to get to that at some point. But should we play it? Like this iconic clip of Roman Reigns interrupting The Rock? Like just a quick, I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, but I think we can play the quick clip of this. "If you smell," I never thought that we would be at a point where a moment like that, a moment like that I would react to a moment like that the way that I did. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I thought I was past reacting to pro wrestling moments.
And they brought
like
you right
that.
back.
They brought me, they got us in. They got us hooked. I'm on the edge of my seat watching this shit. I never thought I would be to the point watching wrestling that something like this could happen and grab my attention the way that it has. And we've been saying this about the Bloodline story for 2+ years. About the job that they've done with this storyline. You know, pulling us in and keeping us in and making us want to watch. I mean, even Roman Reigns, he didn't even show up anymore, and we were still like, what's happening with the Bloodline segment? You know, Sami Zayn gets a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And the Usos, of course.
And the Usos, of course. Solo, Paul Heyman. I mean, I don't want to leave anyone out.
To tell this level of a story, though, you need everyone. You need everyone to at their top of their game.
Yeah. But that moment with Roman and The Rock last night was iconic. Iconic.
It really was.
But then you get to the end.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. You get to the very end of this, and you get a moment that if you were maybe not sure that The Rock and Roman Reigns were going to have a feud at some point in this storyline, then you better be sure now. And if you're not, I am going to tell you why you should believe me. And let's play the clip. The Rock at the end, he gives the one, but he doesn't give the one.
Not just the one.
He doesn't give the we the ones. He gives the we the L's. Now, before you play this, I think it's important to note that this was a 30-minute segment where The Rock's in the ring with the Bloodline for the second time in, 2 weeks?
Yep.
They didn't do it last week. They did it the week before. So the second time in 2 weeks, The Rock is in the ring with the Bloodline. They have a 30-minute segment. It's unbelievable. There were those back and forths with Roman and The Rock. What's going to happen? Is that feud going to begin yet? And then The Rock acknowledged Roman Reigns. But at the end of it, like the Bloodline always does, they put up the ones. And the ones is we the ones. And this is really the acknowledgement of Roman Reigns. That's what that is. When Roman Reigns gets in the ring, he goes, acknowledge me. And everyone in the stands, they put up the ones. Everyone in the Bloodline puts up the ones. So, by default, when you put up the one, what are you doing? You're acknowledging Roman Reigns. But at the end of this segment last night on Friday Night Smackdown, The Rock, for the second straight time, doesn't put up the one. He puts up the L. It's we the ones, not we the L's. For The Rock to do this 2 straight times, I think, and I don't just think, Paul, I know this is being done on purpose. Because if he messed this up the first time, they would have said, what are you doing? And I could see that. Because you know how sometimes people flip the bird.
Yeah.
You know, they throw the middle finger up, but they keep the thumb there too. People do that. Maybe The Rock just did it. He wasn't thinking. He was so jacked up to be back in the ring, to be back in the WWE Universe.
But twice.
But twice? Now I know what some people are going to say, because at the end, he pulled it back.
But I think that's even better.
But I think that is done on purpose. Can we break it down?
Yeah.
Let's break this down. So, right now, you're looking at the screen. The Bloodline, they have the ones up, and The Rock is about to put his up. Let's see what The Rock, let's see how he does this.
Smackdown, bad news.
So he's got the L a little bit, but it's not drastic. So right there, pause it right there. He makes a move with his thumb to make sure that becomes an L.
So you know.
So if he was told last week not to do that, which if it was not supposed to happen, I'm sure he would have been told not to do that, you would think that when he does it this week, he wouldn't halfway through decide to put it out. That's done on purpose. Let's keep watching what happens. Then he pulls it back in. You see that? He pulls it back in. Can we get a close-up? Let's get a close-up of that. Let's get a close-up of The Rock putting up the L and then pulling it back. And he doesn't just put up the L. He puts it up, then let's see right here. He extends it on purpose, right there. He extends it, Paul. Then what happens?
He pulls it, slowly pulls it back in.
He pulls the thumb back in.
It's amazing. It's so, for a guy level of marketing, a guy that has a level of storytelling like him, he's doing exactly what he wants to get across to you.
So what do we think the L means? Loser? Loses? Is that what is that what they're going for? Like, hey, I'm standing in the ring with a bunch of losers?
I guess, yeah, but I think it's just a modification. And the L is the only thing he can really do with the one. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's only so much you can do.
Can we watch it? Are we able to watch this one more time and get the complete breakdown of The Rock? Let's watch it again. In real, just start to finish. Here's The Rock.
Want it zoomed in on The Rock?
Let's zoom it in on The Rock. Let's break this thing down. He puts the one up. You see that the thumb is not fully extended. So by now, he realizes, like, okay, I don't have my thumb out. I'm doing it the right way. But then, watch him here. Oh, on purpose. He pulled it out on purpose. He pulls the thumb out on purpose. Come on now.
Then I think it's even more telling when he slowly pulls it back
And he
in.
slowly pulls it back in. Yeah, they wanted you to notice it. And the
Right
thing,
there.
the thing is, they
There's
know
something
that
there.
everybody is noticing that.
Or at least enough people. You don't need everyone to know. Just enough to pepper it in. So then now it bleeds out from that.
And if not everyone knows, then share this video and comment below what you think. I'd like to know what people think. But this is not just a conspiracy. This is not, as the wise man would put it, a prediction. This is a spoiler. The Rock and Roman Reigns, this whole thing, this is a feud that will take place. And we're going to see this transpire because if you watch this segment, you know what they did. The Rock challenged.
Yeah.
He answered Cody Rhodes' challenge. So Cody Rhodes challenged The Rock. The Rock gets in the ring on Friday night, and he answers Cody Rhodes' challenge with a challenge of a tag team match on night 1 at WrestleMania. The Rock, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And The Rock says, but there's a catch. If The Rock and Roman Reigns win, then it's
Bloodline Rules.
Bloodline Rules. Anything goes in the Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns main event in night 2 of WrestleMania.
He said, I can do commentary. We can have Solo do the national anthem. So we can have a referee, all that stuff. So, yeah.
Basically, they're setting you up. Cody Rhodes is going to have to, survive chaos to win the championship, right? And The Rock will be involved in that chaos. It will be an anything go, no holds barred match. Right? I mean, I think they'll still have a ref.
But even more. Even
you know
worse.
what? The Rock might be the special guest referee for that.
Yeah.
That could be the situation they're leading us into. But he also said if Cody and Seth win the tag team match night 1 at WrestleMania, then what? The bloodline can't be...
They'll be barred.
They'll be barred from the ring.
So it'll just be a one-on-one match.
For the Cody Roman Reigns match night 2. It would just be one-on-one.
To finish the story.
So I'm sitting there going, so what are they going to do? So now that we know there's a tag team match, night 1 at WrestleMania, or at least that's what they're kind of planning on, I still think there could be a swerve there. I still think there could be a swerve to a triple threat with The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody, only because there's so much time. We have a little over a month.
Yeah.
From WrestleMania. And The Rock's making a couple more appearances. There's still time for this tag team match to not happen and it's swerved to a triple threat. Maybe it doesn't. Let's just say, for the sake of what they said on Friday Night SmackDown, that this is going to be a tag team match with certain stipulations, when it comes to the result and what could happen on night 2 with the Cody Roman Reigns match. Let's just say there is a tag team match night 1. I'm sitting there starting to think, well, what are they going to do? What will the result of that be? Because it's obvious that The Rock is going to be involved in night 2 in some capacity. Because it's obvious that The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to feud at some point. Right? So, how are they going to do that? The Rock is going to be involved in night 2 of the Cody Roman Reigns match. So I think they're going to have Roman Reigns and The Rock win the tag team match.
Even maybe with a little help from Seth Rollins. Who knows?
Possibly. But however that goes down.
Yeah, because it's more fun if the next night is chaos.
Chaos.
And The Rock has to be there. We know that. The Rock has to be there.
Has to be there? Check. Chaos? Check. Cody winning with chaos and The Rock there puts everything together. Check, check, check. The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to win the tag team match. Chaos in night 2. Cody wins the title. The Rock and Roman Reigns feud. The Rock might even help Cody win the title. Because again, back to the finger and the L, it means something. It means a lot, in my opinion. And even the way The Rock said to Roman Reigns, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief.
He didn't say who his head.
There was something there where I just feel like we're going to, down the road, hear from The Rock. Well, yeah, you're my tribal chief, but I'm the head chief.
I'm Hollywood Rock. I was doing movies. I appointed you to do this. I'm still the head.
I'm the head of the table, the family table. You're my tribal chief. Of course, I acknowledge you with that. But I'm your boss. You answer to me. That's what we're going to get to. I mean, before The Rock came out, before his music hit, Roman Reigns was not happy. And Paul Heyman introduced him. I think there's something there. Roman Reigns is going to now be that extremely paranoid character moving forward. And it's beautiful. It's just perfect storytelling. But what The Rock's doing with the finger, Roman Reigns interrupting him from the signature, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, the whole thing is cinema, right? That clip, that viral clip of Roman Reigns going cinema. That's what this is. This is cinema, baby. And I love it. But that's the breakdown of everything that happened. And so I think The Rock and Roman Reigns win the tag team match night 1. I think it's complete chaos night 2. And some way, somehow, The Rock ends up helping Cody Rhodes. I mean, now we're talking about it. We're putting it all together. I'm still looking at the screen with these guys on it, giving the ones up. Putting the ones up. Now, I'm sitting there going, if it is the Bloodline Rules night 2, and The Rock's like, oh, I can do whatever I want. What do you say? I can do commentary.
Yep. He said we could have Solo sing the national anthem. Good line, also.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm just thinking of this right now. The Rock is going to be the special guest referee of that match. Right?
Has to be.
Or it is a triple threat. I don't know.
I don't think it's a triple threat.
You don't think it's a triple threat?
Because I think this is a 2-part thing. And this is The Rock interfering some way. But this is Cody's night. It really is. But it's really what it is. It's the beginning of The Rock Reigns feud.
Exactly.
Which will carry us till hopefully next WrestleMania.
Which brings us back to everything that we talked about breaking down the Pat McAfee clip.
Yeah. When The Rock told you every bit of the story.
The new era, Cody the champ, the new beginning to a new era and a new story with The Rock and Roman Reigns. We broke it down. We told you exactly what was going to happen because The Rock told you exactly what's going to happen. But if you don't want to hear it from us, you might as well hear it from Vegas because this is a major spoiler, what I'm about to tell you. And if you don't want the major WrestleMania spoiler, which is even more of a spoiler than we gave you on the last show, which has 130,000 views on YouTube, then you don't want to hear this spoiler. Because this is like...
You follow the money.
This is
spoilers.
Right on the money.
Yeah.
Literally type of spoiler. And so if you don't want to be spoiled by the result, even though you heard us tell you what's going to happen, you heard The Rock tell you what's going to happen.
It's a great time to mute it and then write a little comment down below.
Sure, it's a great time to
keep
comment,
that engagement.
Mute, comment. Don't shut us off, but just mute and comment. Yeah. Because we're about to tell you the odds on favorite in Las Vegas to win the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match in the main event of WrestleMania on night 2 on Sunday. Cody Rhodes, Roman. Do you have any guesses, Paul, as to what this could be?
It's going to be astronomical, but I really don't. Like 10-1, like
who?
Cody winning.
Cody. So you.
Yeah.
So this is like guess the odds.
Yeah. So give me, I want 900. Like. I think it's crazy. I don't think.
I mean, you're. I didn't think you. I thought you would think it would be close.
Oh, okay. What is it? What is it?
You want to know?
Yeah.
So the odds-on favorite, and I'm not going to give the website that has this. It is a very reputable sportsbook app. I'm not going to give the company because they don't pay me. They don't sponsor the show, though they can if they want to. They know who they are. It's really one of the only sports books that lets you bet on wrestling. Yeah. But the reason I know they're right is because I always look for the Royal Rumble. They nail it every year, who the favorite is.
Okay.
And I think maybe there's been one time in the last 10 years where it was like close and like one guy. The odds-on favorite to win the main event of WrestleMania in the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match is Cody Rhodes. -600.
All right, I was thinking like minus 900, but I can see it.
You said 900.
Yeah, I could see it. I really can because it seems too good. It's too good because you're not just you're finishing a story and starting a story. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like it's too perfect.
Roman Reigns plus 350. I mean, that's a good payday. If you pick Roman Reigns and he wins. I wish I knew what it was last year. I forget. Did we look that up last year?
I don't know.
I don't know.
think so. No.
But Cody Rhodes minus 600, that is pretty... That's a heavy favorite.
Yeah.
He ain't losing.
No.
Like, he ain't losing. They do not have him. I could see if he was like minus 150.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like minus 120, Cody Rhodes. No. Minus 600
or
means, like, that's like...
Or it means that's where they want money. It's so big that they might be kind of like funneling where they want the money to go at this point. Because it's a while out, too. I don't know.
No, they can't.
I'm trying to talk myself out.
No. It would be the opposite.
It would be the opposite.
It would be the
right?
opposite.
Yeah.
Because what's happening is more and more people are putting money on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they're raising the odds because it's like, well, they don't want it at minus 120 because then they're paying out more money. If that thing, the more people bet on Cody Rhodes, the higher that goes. But there's also like a month out. That's based on some type of tip. Do you want me to give? There's odds for a couple of the other matches too.
Okay, do it. Yeah.
So Bayley and Io Sky. Io Sky's the champ. Bayley's getting jumped by that whole group, damage control that she was in. Do you have any guesses?
I haven't followed the story enough to.
So Bayley's kind of like
but pretty even, I would say.
It was her old. She's going up against her old group that she started, and they kind of kicked her out. And now she's a fan favorite. Everybody wants her to win. She should win. But do you know what Vegas says?
She probably won't win.
She's an even heavier favorite. Minus 1250.
Wow.
Io Sky plus 550. So Bayley's going to win the championship.
Okay.
The women's championship. Then we have Rhea Ripley, the champ, who I love, and Becky Lynch.
I think you got to stick with Ripley in that one.
Ripley is the favorite at minus 400. Becky Lynch, the underdog, at plus 250. And then you got Drew McIntyre going up against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, the champ.
There's rumors he's injured, so I'd pull that in there too. I'd say Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's a favorite. McIntyre
is the favorite, minus 300. Rollins, the underdog, plus 200.
Not bad, though, still like right where I would think it would be.
So you're talking 3 title changes out of the 4. Now, they don't have any tag team match on here. They don't have the tag team match for I thought we'd see the Rock Roman versus Cody Seth tag match. And that's why I'm like, the fact that it's not on here, they're pretty good with this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? But at the time I'm looking at this is almost 24 hours from when they announced that match. It's not on here yet. Makes me wonder if, like, well, I guess
that would have to be a major.
It's not official.
Yeah.
They haven't accepted.
Okay.
Maybe by the time you watch this, it is official on Raw, and it will be on there. But Cody Rhodes, minus 600 to win the championship over Roman Reigns, who is the heavy underdog at plus 350. There's just so many people in the comments from the last video that say, oh, like WWE is going to have him beat Hogan's record. And I'm like, I guess I can see it, but that's not where this thing seems to be going.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's like some because there are people that still think the WWE universe changed this storyline.
Yeah, I don't buy that either.
And that the Cody Crybabies made the WWE
force
swerve.
their hand.
No
I don't believe
way.
that. I don't believe that for a second.
Because I was arguing with people in the comments. They're like, well, how do you explain that night that doesn't make sense in which Cody Rhodes came in the ring and said to Roman, I'm coming for everything you got, just not at WrestleMania. Here's The Rock. Remember that? And we were like, that doesn't make sense.
It was weird, yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. But they knew the reaction that was going to get.
Yeah.
And so that no longer has to make sense because they ended up getting the results from the fans that they wanted, which then makes Cody Rhodes, insertion back into this main event that much bigger, that much better. And it's going to make his win that much more special, especially when it's chaos on night 2 for Bloodline Rules.
Because you remember last year we said, like, did they take a little bit of the luster from Cody by not letting him, giving it to him last year? So do you think this is how they almost reintroduced that entertaining aspect where you're really geared up now for him to finish his story, to get that win?
No doubt about it.
It's perfect. It really is. So now that night actually makes sense to me, that awkward night.
You couldn't, and I told you, they kept that camera shot of Cody looking at him. Upset. I'm like, they did that for a reason. Much like they have The Rock doing this.
They're doing all these things. Yeah.
It's all planned out, but people think like the Cody crybabies made the WWE swerve. And what we try to say in the last show with the McAfee clip is that no. In fact, this is long-term storytelling at its finest. Even the moments that don't make sense, that we agree they don't make sense, but where we don't agree with some of the people in the comments is that they did that on purpose because they knew the reaction they were going to get.
It would elicit that exact reaction. They knew it.
And you're now giving that Cody build again because you couldn't just have Cody versus Roman one-on-one again.
Yeah.
There had to be something new, something special, something different, something bigger, which is why The Rock was like, and again, we go back to, they were going to do all this, I think, last year, but they couldn't because of the Endeavor sale. They didn't want to make that type of change at that moment when there's a major... The WWE, somebody bought the WWE. The new company is not coming in going, all right, right as we buy the company, why don't you...
Give us a new champion.
Give us a new champion that we don't really know it's going to work. They didn't want to do that.
For this guy who we know sells and works for... I don't know, it's thousands... How many days is that? It's 1,500 plus days now?
I don't even know.
It's wild.
But that's the thing. That number... They're making that matter now.
Yeah.
Whereas that number isn't part of the long-term storytelling. They're just adding that number in.
It's like pepper, it's flavor.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, we can do this now. Well, we didn't make the change last year. We're not going to make the change till the next WrestleMania. So let's see. Oh, look what we got. Look what we can do. That's kind of like what they're doing on the fly.
Yeah.
That was they never looked at this whole thing and go, we're going to get him past Hogan. There's no way.
No.
No.
Because who cares, really, honestly?
Look, I love the history, the lineage.
More than anyone.
More than anyone. But I don't care if Roman Reigns has the belt longer than Hulk Hogan.
No.
I don't care who he's got the belt longer than. It just doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
What matters to me is the Roman's reputation now in the history books, whether he passes Hogan or not. That doesn't change the way I feel about him. That doesn't change the way I feel about this historic title reign. That doesn't change the way I feel about this unbelievable storyline that they've been telling for the last 2-3 years. So the number, that doesn't matter. And so that's why when I sit back and think about it, I go, and then I look at the odds in Vegas, and I look at all of the shit that's happening now that they're kind of leading us into. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's long-term storytelling at its finest. No, the Cody Crybabies did not change this story. The WWE knew the reaction that they were going to get. They should be applauded for their vision, seeing this play out, and it played out the way they envisioned it. And the fans were getting rewarded right now with an absolutely unbelievable moment where The Rock is here week in and week out, cutting promos, calling people crackheads.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I never thought I would see a moment
like that again, right?
Just where I felt like that about wrestling. Where Roman Reigns puts his arm on The Rock's forearm, and I'm like, oh shit. That was like Shawn Michaels in the barbershop. That was like Hogan, Andre, and Piper's Pit. That was like Stone Cold at King of the Ring. That was like CM Punk pipe bomb.
Michaels coming in on the zip line.
I mean, maybe for you. That's not.
That was great. You don't remember that?
That's one of your iconic.
Yeah,
that's all right. It was all right.
I remember. What year is that? I think
that was the Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we mentioned this on the show or not, but they don't have that match in the 40 years of WrestleMania mode in WWE 2K24.
So weird.
They also don't have Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels with Mike Tyson, which I was at in Boston. They also don't have The Rock versus Hollywood Hogan. WWE 2K24.
Is it licensing? Is it just Hogan wouldn't play ball or something?
No, Hogan's in the game.
That makes no sense.
How do you do a 40 years of WrestleMania mode
without those?
Without those guys. Without those matches, I mean.
That's crazy.
We're going to here's another thing we're going to do on the show. We are going, this is why when I said I'm not part of the wrestling media clique, we are going to buy WWE 2K24, right? And we are going to review it on this show.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to give a review. I don't think I'm going to sit here and play the whole thing for people. We'll cut it up, right? Maybe give you a couple clips. We'll play it, then we'll jump back on and review it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's going to be an honest review. All these other people, they review it, but then you find out like, oh, WWE 2K flew them out to Los Angeles to play the game. It's like, well, how honest of a review are you going to get from these kids?
And if they're willing to do that, I'll say really good things about it.
No, I don't want them to give it me.
You want to pay for that.
I think I messaged them to see if they would, and they didn't answer.
That's what this is really about.
But, no, we're going to buy it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what I think of the game. But the fact that I know, like, just even Hollywood Hogan versus The Rock, that match is not part of the...
What if it comes out in downloadable content later? Does that piss you off even more than it just being absent?
They won't. They won't do that.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do that. They already announced the DLC.
Okay.
Yeah, they already announced it. So it just doesn't make sense that they wouldn't put that match. They have a 40 years of WrestleMania mode, and they won't put arguably the greatest match in the history of wrestling, The Rock versus Hollywood Hogan, which happened at WrestleMania. They won't put it in the game? It doesn't make sense. And another thing they don't do in these games is they just refuse to capture like the Attitude Era from a D-Generation X standpoint. Like they refuse to put DX in the game. I don't understand it. Isn't that like the best part of the history of wrestling?
Yeah.
DX
Stone Cold, yeah.
I mean, they have Stone Cold in there, but they just don't do DX. But that's why they leave Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold. Maybe that's a licensing issue with Mike Tyson. If Tyson doesn't want to play ball, maybe they can't put that game in.
Yeah, but just ignore it, that part.
I can't put that match in the game, I mean.
Yeah. That stinks.
And then there was another one, too. Oh, so this is a funny one. Maybe not funny, but... So Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, which is maybe an iconic moment right up there with the ones we mentioned earlier. They kept that Brock Lesnar, you cannot play as Brock Lesnar in the game.
Yeah, they said the game files are there, but he won't be accessible.
But that match is in the showcase mode.
That makes no sense. That makes less sense.
Just let us play as Brock Lesnar. It is a fucking video game.
Well, if you buy it on the PC, people will unlock that within days.
Yeah, but
Brock Lesnar will be right back in there for PC people.
I have a PS5.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm Xbox.
What do you have? You have an Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Is the Taylor Swift album over my shoulder?
No, it's Sudden Death. Do you remember that Van Damme movie? It's a
That's
a great fucking movie.
Great, I will not blur that one out like I did the last one. That is a great movie.
Yeah, great hockey movie. It really is.
Yeah, is it? That's kind of like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is Sudden Death a hockey movie?
Not like Slapshot, but yeah.
Like what? It's the Pittsburgh Penguins, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And he sneaks in, and like there's a fight throughout. Like they're chasing him in the building during a game.
Yeah, and if the game goes into overtime, so it's sudden death.
And then he's the mascot, right?
At one point, he is. Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in years, but I remember.
So as soon as they score, there's bombs.
Jean-Claude
everywhere.
Van Damme.
So, great movie. Great '90s action movie. Like it really is. Like perfect '90s action.
Is Sudden Death a hockey movie? Is it? I don't know. I'm gonna go.
It's hockey adjacent.
I don't think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Do you?
Like it can be both. It's not first.
It's a movie that takes place at Christmas.
It's an action movie. Yeah, exactly.
And Sudden Death is a movie that takes place.
So it's like part of the setting.
At a hockey game.
Yeah,
but it's not a hockey movie. Much like Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Christmas movies are like Home Alone's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Or is it about child abuse?
You know, the more I think about Home Alone, like maybe it's not a Christmas movie. You got me thinking. Anyways, we're just going off the rails here. But look, we had to come in today. We are working on a special guest that we're going to bring in to break all this down with us, who is in the wrestling world. And I'm not going to say who that is, but I think maybe on the next show, maybe we'll get him on. We were going to have him on this show. There was a scheduling conflict. But we knew we had to come in and react to this stuff because, I mean, the last show, 130,000 views. People want to know what we think about the latest news with the Bloodline. And, I mean, I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on it, Paul? Like, I think we've nailed it. I think when you combine the last show with what we said today, I think all of it is playing out kind of exactly how we've broken it down.
Yeah.
Cody's going to win the championship, and then it's going to lead into a feud with The Rock and Roman Reigns. They cannot have that match for a title, so they're not going to. And people in the comments who are like, oh, that's so stupid. Like, how can you have a match for the head of the table when the title isn't on the line? It's like, well, I hate to break it to you, but the head of the table means like the family table. It doesn't have anything to do with the championship, right? Much like the bloodline is the family bloodline. Roman right now says he sits at the head of the family table. I don't think he says and because he's the champ, he sits at the head of the table of the WWE. But that was never really what that meant. The head of the table is the family table. I thought that was pretty obvious, but some people are like, oh no, the title's got to be on the line. Like, that doesn't make sense. The head of the table with no title, it makes perfect sense to me.
Do we see a split of the family? Do we see, say, Solo go with The Rock?
Well, that's why I think that you're going to get the Usos fighting each other at WrestleMania, one-on-one. I think that's where they're going with that, because Jimmy keeps costing Jay championships. So what's going to happen there? Like, where does this thing really go?
And that's going to be a part of it, not a main part, but that's going to come into it.
100%.
The whole bloodline is...
Well, that's why I think another reason why Roman and Rock are going to win the tag match. And you're going to get complete chaos, Bloodline Rules Night 2, and that's where I think you'll probably see Jey Uso involved. It's going to be complete. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, made that, like, I don't know, Steel Cage or Hell in a Cell, and just put them all in there. That was stupid.
Maybe not,
maybe not. And I only said.
No, I see what you're saying though. Like taking chaos to a new extreme level.
Yeah, where everyone's involved, and I think
it's completely unfair for Cody.
We might even see family members.
From the
past
I think so too.
come back.
I think so too. That's why I was asking, like, if we're gonna see like almost like a split.
Like, I wonder if it's going to be like a lumberjack match.
Around, exactly.
With the whole family.
The whole family.
And The Rock is the referee. And then at the end...
That's goosebumps. That's
right?
goosebumps. That's what I want.
Right? And then at the end, The Rock interrupts the plan.
To be the head.
And you get Rock... you're going to get that moment, right?
Yeah.
This is... How are you going to... I'm trying to think. We're thinking out loud here. This is what we do. This is giving raw reaction to this. If The Rock, and put your comments below, if The Rock and Roman, we know they're on a collision course, on night 2, when it's Bloodline Rules, because you know that they wouldn't bring that up if it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
How are they going to get that moment? I think the best way to do it is have The Rock go, you know what? I'll be special guest referee. And that's when you'll get Roman going, I don't know that I want that, right? You'll get the paranoid. Like, Roman's got to be paranoid about The Rock moving forward.
Yeah.
Well, how does that continue?
Increasingly paranoid about more people, too. Now is Paul Heyman on his side? Is he on The Rock's side? Like, even things like that.
Yeah, paranoia.
Question everything.
Paranoia will reign supreme here for Roman Reigns moving forward. And
he's great at it, too.
Oh, he's
great.
He's the best. When people talk about Mount Rushmores.
I know, he really is. I didn't see it initially either. Like, it took this run for me.
Do you have a Mount? Should we do Mount Rushmore right now? There were people in the comments.
It's so hard. It changes for me. It really does.
Yeah, next show.
Yeah.
Don't let me forget.
Yeah.
I want to think about this. That's one I don't want to say on the fly because
it's too easy to forget someone.
Not forget someone, but this is
not their importance though to forget exactly.
This is an official. You want my official Mount Rushmore of W? And
it's hard.
It's professional wrestling or WWF, WWE? I think you got to go WWF, WWE.
For me, I'm more of a WWE, WWF guy. So more of the history of me.
Yeah, it's a
comes
top
from that.
company.
Yeah,
It's
I
really.
I don't have. If you're talking New Japan, I'm not here for.
No, I'm not.
I don't. I think it's cool, but it's just I never have.
No, I New Japan. There is some stuff I like. I like Bullet Club, but
yeah.
When you talk about Mount Rushmore,
It's got to be the
It's gotta
show.
be WWE.
Yeah.
who is my Mount Rushmore? Next episode, I will tell you. How's that?
Yeah.
And you can give yours as well. And then people in the comments can give theirs, because I want some time to think about that, because if that's going to be an official WWE Mount Rushmore and I'm on the record for that,
Yeah, you need.
I need to make sure that I am like zoned in. I got my coffee. I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, I'm going to have a list of like, there's going to be 20 names. I'm going to cross them out. I'm going to break down on a separate piece, like the reasoning behind it. I'm going to get into that shit. And it's funny. I've always wanted to actually sit down and do that, but I've never motivated myself to do it. But now that I've told the people and all these new subscribers that we have that I'm going to do it, I have to do it now. So please put me on the spot and remind me in the comments. Paul, you remind me too. I will do it. I'll remember. The next show, I will be giving my Mount Rushmore, WWE Mount Rushmore. The 4, and I had to unfortunately clarify this for some people in the comments on the last show.
That there was 4.
There's only 4.
It's not top
Some
10.
people are putting 5. I'm like, Mount Rushmore? Hey, I don't want to be that guy.
It's
like
a real thing, people.
I don't want to be that like Mr. Know-It-All in the comments section right now, but the Mount Rushmore is only 4 presidents.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm a history buff, but I know that.
I'm not, I'm not like Cat Williams with the history.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Which, I mean, he might be my favorite person in the world after watching that Rogan interview with Cat Williams.
I love him too.
Cat Williams, I mean, I loved his comedy, but I just didn't know I would ever watch him. Speaking of being on the edge of your seat for wrestling, like I was on the edge of my seat watching that whole interview with Rogan going, what is Cat Williams going to say next?
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
First Rogan back on YouTube too, which was...
I still watch it on Spotify.
Okay, but it was the first one back, which I think they did that purposely because they knew it was going to be a home run hit.
That was the first one he was back.
Yeah.
The full
'Cause
shows on YouTube.
Sorry, the Spotify exclusivity deal had run up.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Cat Williams was great, and he might be my new favorite person.
Yeah.
Just because like the way he was able to...
It's a lot of craziness, but he's very articulate and he's very well thought out too, even though it is pretty wild sometimes.
I think to me, like he simplified stuff in a way that I didn't think could be simplified just by talking about information and like the history of information. But it also kind of, one thing I always think of with information is like how much of what we hear is actually legit. Like when you see stuff happening now with politics and people wanting to like change history, like if people want to like lie about what's happening right now. It's like, well, what is true and what's not?
And you don't think
from
they
the
did,
past?
Yeah, exactly. You don't think they did that all of human time, all of humankind? Yeah,
I know. But anyways, go watch Cat Williams, Joe Rogan after this, and go in their comment section and tell them we sent you. But I think until next time, right?
Until next time.
This is something we will be watching and breaking down. We'll give the Mount Rushmore next show. We'll hopefully have our special wrestling-related guest on the next show. Follow me on Instagram at Danny Picard, and I will maybe give you some updates there. Hopefully no schedule conflicts, but we're about, for the new subscribers, I mean, once every 2 weeks we pump out a show and some clips. So again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Share some content that we put out there. Let people know about it. Hit the like button. Put a comment in there. Give us the works. We're really focusing on YouTube right now, and we are extremely grateful to everybody who has subscribed to this channel. And we will try to continue to bring you wrestling content. But again, just to give you the heads up, like we're not only wrestling. This show today was only wrestling. But that's because in the world of sports, there really isn't that much going on. I mean, we could get into that. I didn't watch the Patriots Dynasty.
I'm making my way through it.
There is one part that seemed, I just read a quote that seemed extremely disturbing. Robert Kraft said something to Aaron Hernandez.
I'm not up there. I'm not up to the Hernandez part.
When you
yet.
do.
I'm at Deflategate.
See, that's why I don't want to watch it. Just piss me off. All right. Hit subscribe. Follow on social media. We're out. See ya.